There you are. Welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. And when you're at the center of the world, we're not talking about the world with planets and all that, That's not the world we're talking about. The world we're talking about is your world. I am here, you say. I'm here. Where are you? I'm here. And where is here? It's wherever you are. Go to California, I say, where are you? I'm here. Go to Mexico, where are you? I'm here. You're always here. The title of this talk is The End of Worry. So if you're always here, do you worry about where you are? No, I'm here. Or home. Here is home. Wherever you are, you're here. And here is home. You have a home like here, home in Blackstone. So if I go to California and I might get tired and I would say, well, let's go home or go to Blackstone. But suppose you're camping and you got a tent and you go walking in the woods. Let's go home. You go back to the tent. So home is here. Now, the end of worry, let's talk about that. That's the title of this talk. The end or cessation of worry. Now, Buddha began the whole teaching of Buddha, which lasted 40-some years, was compressed into his Four Noble Truths. It's the whole teaching. It's like it's one little capsule that if you water it will spring into a teaching. It's the Dharma compressed into a little bitty time release capsule. And if you water it, it's like a seed. And if you water it with your experience, if you water it by applying it to your life, that little seed will spring, will bloom into the cessation of worry. So when Buddha starts his teaching with the rather confusing statement or truth that life is suffering. So everybody, well, what do you mean by that? Well, I don't suffer. What do you mean? Is that pain? What do you mean by suffering? So we stew with that. We worry about that. So right there, that little life is suffering, you see, is just like the whole teaching compressed into just one little sentence. Life is suffering. Or we could use suffering, you see, and put in other words to help, water this idea. Life is worry. Life is a problem. Life is a contradiction. That's interesting. Life is a contradiction. When there's a contradiction, we worry. A contradiction is when two poles, ideas, commandments, views are in the same situation. Like a marriage. It's a situation. It's one. The marriage is one that is two. But when there's a contradiction between the two polarities of the marriage, there's going to be worry. There's going to be a problem. Got to work it out. And it goes wah, 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 like a mic and an amplifier. So if you don't see into the contradiction when it begins, it can escalate into divorce. Whoa! Or it can escalate into a point where there's a remarriage, a reconnection, a restoration, a reinvention, a recreating. Maybe people get remarried and renew their vows. A renewal of the marriage creates it anew, you see. So that worry that starts like a mic and an amplifier, wah, 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 has to end in either two ways. It's got to end, and it has to end because we can't live if there's a mic and an amplifier. Wah, 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 turn it off or you're going to blow up your mind. You have to turn it off. So One way, the most common way in the world is, well, let's just blow it up and start over. Let's just blow the whole thing up. Let's just destroy America and start over. Let's destroy. There's a contradiction in the government. Let's just destroy the government and start over. This is called anarchy. Revolution, you see. Start fresh. Boom. Destroy it. And that destroy the old, resurrect the new. The dying and resurrected Christ, you see. So one way out of the wah-wah, or the worry, is through destruction. When these mass shootings, somebody goes, your neighbor you get a little tiff, a little irritation with the neighbor, and the next thing you know, the guy gets his assault rifle and goes over and kills everybody in the house. That's one way to end it, you see. That one little ripple escalated, wah, 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 wah. And he's sitting in jail saying, I don't know what happened. I just went next door to complain about the dog barking the dog, and now I'm in jail for the rest of my life. I don't know why. So that's one way out of the wah-wah. Of course, these little explosions we see in America now are the tip of the iceberg, because there's a great brewing wah-wah going on in the guts of America, and it comes to the top like pimples, like volcanic explosions, killing the whole thing, death. So there's two ways out of the wah-wah. There's two ways out of worry: death or creation. Death or life. Many people choose death. Some choose life. Now, what is choosing life? Well, life is creative. Life is ongoing. Life is always new. Life is changing. So it's always reinventing itself. It's always creating itself out of itself. Now, that creation out of itself requires destruction and creation at the same time. Life cannot create itself out of something old over there. It's creating itself out of itself. So it's dying and resurrected at the same time. It's destroying itself and creating itself at the same time. But our logic cannot accommodate that idea. It's ambiguous. Our logical mind, our conscious mind, it's got to be this or that. It's got to be death or life. You can't have death, life, or life, death. It's got to be one or the other. So I got to choose destruction or creation. I got to choose shooting the wah-wah, which will include killing myself too, you see, the whole thing. Or I create myself. Or I create a new situation that transcends the old situation out of the old situation. It's not like there's two. Oh, there's the wah-wah's back there, and now I'm here, you see. The wah-wah creates the liberation from the wah-wah. It's the same thing, but you see it from the another side, you see. There is the moon, right? You see the light face of the moon. There's the dark side. We don't see the dark side. Never see the dark side, the other side of the moon. But it's there. We don't just make it go away, don't disappear because we just see the light side. So the dark and the light are one moon, but we only see the light. We only see the conscious. We only see the logical. We don't see the dark side. The dark side is beyond choice. It's beyond perception. It's beyond consciousness. But it's there. So it's out of this dark side that the new moon is created. It's out of the worry, it's out of the wah-wah that we create a new moon, a new life, a new idea, a new way of opening the situation, a new way out of the contradiction that keeps recurring a new way out of the pattern of defeat, a new way out of the self-sabotaging patterns, a new way out of Laurel and Hardy. See, Laurel and Hardy is a situation where Laurel and Hardy have good intentions, but they sabotage each other, and they end up in total destruction. But we laugh, you see. So their wah-wah creates our laughter, because we see our own wah-wah. We see our own self-defeating worry loops, you see. So the life is suffering, life is worry, and then Buddha says there's a cause, and the cause, you have to, when you see the cause, you're free from the worry. When you see the cause, you're free from the worry, because the cause is the effect, and the effect is the cause. They're one. So when you see the one that is two, you're free from the contradiction between the one and the two. Why? Because they're one in your knowing. And this is the shift of Buddha, and particularly Zen. The way out of worry is to see through and through that the worry has no ground upon which to stand. There's nothing there. It is by seeing the worry that I worry. If I see the paradox in that, see, this is beyond words, but if I see the paradox, if I see the ambiguity of the light and the dark side of the moon, of the good and the bad, see, worry is a contradiction in one mind. One mind has a contradiction. And that worry escalates. I worry about what I'm going to do. And then I'm worrying about worry. And now I'm worrying about worrying about worry. Now I'm worrying about worrying about worrying about worrying. And now I'm worrying about worrying about worrying about worrying. And now I have a panic attack. Boom. Nervous breakdown. Cataclysmic drama. Wrong, just, and then we end up somewhere and say, what happened? How did I get here? I just went to the store for some cigarettes, and now I'm in jail for the rest of my life. What happened? Thanks for dropping in.